Something really surprising might happen in Formula One racing in 2025. There's a crazy rumor going around that George Russell might leave his team, Mercedes, and join a different team called Aston Martin. This is super shocking because George Russell was chosen to take over from Lewis Hamilton. Mercedes thought George would be their main driver for many years, but now people are saying Mercedes might let him go. But why is this happening? And how does Max Verstappen fit into this story? Let's find out. George Russell's contract with Mercedes ends this year. We're getting close to the end of 2025, and nobody has said he's staying yet. Both Russell and his team boss, Toto Wolff, say they agree on what to do next. But since nothing is signed on paper, maybe their talks behind closed doors aren't going so well. New reports say Aston Martin really wants to get George Russell to drive for them starting in 2026. At first, this might seem like a sideways move or even a step down. But the truth is much more interesting. Aston Martin isn't the same team they were a few years ago. They're getting a new engine partner called Honda starting in 2026. They also hired Adrian Newey, who is the best car designer in Formula One history. The team is quietly getting ready to make a big jump forward. For Aston Martin, this makes sense. Lance Stroll will probably keep his seat because his dad, Lawrence Stroll, owns the team. But Fernando Alonso is 44 years old and getting older. People wonder how many more years he'll keep racing, especially when new rules start in 2026. George Russell would bring in a young, talented driver who has already won races. It would also show everyone that Aston Martin is serious about winning. Here's where things get even more interesting. Some people who know inside information say Aston Martin might not stop with just Russell. Toto Wolff has always said he really likes Max Verstappen. Even after Max and George had a big fight on the racetrack in Spain, Wolff didn't get too angry at Max. That's weird because team bosses usually defend their own drivers. When people asked Toto about Max's behavior in Barcelona, he said something interesting. I mean, if it was road rage, which I can't imagine because it was too obvious, then it's not good. But the thing is, I don't know what he aimed for. Did he want to let George pass and immediately repass like the old DRS games? For me, it's just incomprehensible. Wolff didn't blame Max for what happened. He even suggested that Max might have had good reasons for what he did. This makes us wonder, is Mercedes thinking less about Russell? If Wolff wants Verstappen to be his main driver for 2026, then letting Russell look at other teams might not just be okay, it might be part of his plan. But what if Aston Martin has an even bigger plan? What if they want to sign both George Russell and Max Verstappen for 2026? It sounds crazy and almost like make-believe, but they might actually be working on it. Earlier this year, rumors said Aston Martin offered Verstappen $300 million. The team said they didn't make any official offer, but their statement didn't completely deny it. They said, "It's normal for the media to speculate on the driver market, but we have an amazing driver lineup that we are committed to and who are under contract for 2026 and beyond." We all know that contracts don't mean much when a team is willing to pay huge amounts of money. Especially when Newey is there, Honda is coming, and Aston Martin is secretly working on what could be a championship-winning car for 2026. The rumors aren't just coming from reporters either. Russell was seen talking deeply with McLaren bosses Zak Brown and Andrea Stella during the Australian Grand Prix weekend. This happened even though both Norris and Piastri are locked into long contracts. Maybe it was just a coincidence, but then something happened in China. Russell was seen hugging Flavio Briatore, who now helps the Alpine team. Then came the biggest news of all, reports that Russell talked with Red Bull team boss Christian Horner. This wasn't just small talk. Horner praised Russell, saying, "We'd be foolish to overlook him." The fact that Russell is actively looking at his options suggests that his future at Mercedes is uncertain at best, and at worst, already slipping away from him. You can't talk about Aston Martin's future without talking about Adrian Newey. After leaving Red Bull, his decision to join Aston Martin as managing technical partner shocked everyone in Formula One. When he was seen at the Monaco Grand Prix looking closely at the leading McLaren car, it wasn't just for show. It was sending a message that Newey is watching everything carefully. If Russell wants to be part of a technical revolution under Newey's leadership, This might be his best and possibly only chance to become a world champion after the Mercedes era. Here's where it gets really exciting though. If Aston Martin somehow managed to sign both Russell and Verstappen, Formula One might see one of the most explosive teammate pairings since Hamilton versus Rosberg or even Prost versus Senna. The tension, the talent, the different personalities, everything would be set up for fireworks. These two aren't exactly best friends. Their recent fights on track have been anything but friendly. They race hard, they speak their minds, and they don't back down. Put them in the same garage and you've got a bomb just waiting to explode. Team meetings would be more like psychological warfare. On paper, such a lineup would be nearly unbeatable. On track, though, it could either lift Aston Martin to heights they've never reached or blow up spectacularly. But either way, fans would be treated to amazing drama every single race weekend. That's for sure, Dot. So where does that leave Mercedes then? Well, that's the mystery. They are still reportedly ahead in engine development for 2026. Just like they were when the turbo hybrid era began in 2014. With that in mind, it would make little sense to let a driver of Russell's level leave unless they already have something or someone better waiting. And once again, all roads point to Verstappen. If Wolff can pull off the move and convince the reigning champion to join the Silver Arrows, it would not only complete a remarkable transformation for Mercedes, but also explain why they're so calm about Russell's future. Whether this ends with George Russell staying with Mercedes or making a shocking switch to Aston Martin, one thing is for certain. No matter how it plays out, 2026 is shaping up to be one of the most unpredictable and crazy seasons Formula One has seen in years. We're diving headfirst into the unknown, and the same goes for the teams. When massive rule changes hit the sport, history has shown that no one, not even the frontrunners, are safe. It's a complete reset. What worked yesterday might fall apart tomorrow, and what failed in the past could rise from the ashes stronger than ever. Two teams, however, we can say with some certainty that will change for sure: Red Bull and Aston Martin. And while both are expected to go through major transformations, their paths couldn't be more different. Red Bull, despite their recent dominance, might find themselves scrambling to adapt to the new engine regulations, especially with Honda leaving and Ford stepping in. Meanwhile, Aston Martin, powered by a fresh partnership with Honda and the genius of Adrian Newey, are widely expected to be making a giant leap forward. 2026 could be the year the green machines finally rise to the top, or fail trying if Aston Martin signs even one of Russell or Verstappen. It would be a huge shift. But if they manage to get both, Formula One might just enter a new golden era of rivalries, controversies, and high-speed battles that we'll remember for generations. What do you think? Should Russell stay loyal to Mercedes or take a gamble on Aston Martin's rising project? And if Verstappen joins the same team, will it be harmony or hellfire between the two? Let us know what you think in the comments below, and don't forget to click on the like button and subscribe for more Formula One news today.